Yay, we are live. Yeah. I'm so excited about today. Good evening, everyone. Just give me a minute. Um, Come on. Yeah, we're live already. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? Happy Sunday. Who is here with me? Good evening. You're once again welcome to Parenting with School of. You're welcome to School of Parenting with MB. And if you're seeing my face for the very first time, I say a very big welcome to you. Yeah, so today's last session, it was supposed to be for last week, but because I had emergency, so that's why I cancelled it. And my apologies for that. So today we're going to be looking at parenting tests that you and I, as an intentional parent, must pass before we can say, yes, I have parented well. Before we can say, yes, I have raised my children well. Before we can say, yes, my children turn out well. If you can hear me and if you can see me, please put it. Can I see your comments in the comment section? I hope I'm not going to be doing this live alone. Please come on. It's time to learn. Come on board. We have started. We are live now. Invite your friends. Invite your loved ones. Yeah, let's go. So, like I said, I hope you can still hear me and you can see me. So, those tests the test you must pass that will make you say, yes, I have done my job and I have done it well. The test that will make you say, yes, well done me for raising my children, well, they turned out well. So these tests are the tests we're going to be looking at. The tests that will make you confidently say, yes, my children turned out well. Without you passing these two tests, your parenting is likely going to be full of regrets. It's going to be full of guilt. Oh, thank you, Depmi. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Thank you for joining. Can you hear me? Can you see me? If you can see me, if you can hear me, please put it in the live session. You know, it will be full of regrets without these two tests. It will be full of regrets. It will be full of, tears, guilt. I wish I did this. I wish I did this, or had I known, and all of that. And I know that is not what we want today. You know, these are tests that will make your children like well clean, turn out well holistically. That will make them, and when I say holistically, I mean, you know, mentally, physically, academically, spiritually, socially, and emotionally. The test your children will pass for you to say you have raised them well or you have raised them holistically, because that is our aim, to raise children who are holistic, who thrive holistically. Now remember, back in the days, I just remember back in the days, how me and my friends, we just sit down and all we're talking about is, our future family, our future homes. We're literally dreaming about our kids, number of kids we're going to be having, and all. Just a minute, please. Yeah. Okay. The number of kids we'll be having, how they will look, and the conversation is usually more of their look, their beauty, how we're going to dress them with designers, how they will be top notch, how you literally cannot, take your eyes off them, how you see them with loads of admiration and all of that. It used to be our dream, and I believe a lot of us, or many people, that's why you even see people today, when they see we are judged with, our look, our physical appearance. If you're not, good looking in terms of your clothes, your hair, your designers and all that, people don't regard you until you have all of those, Gucci and everything before they regard you as, yes, he has arrived. And the same thing is applicable to our kids, and that's why you see a lot of competitions out there. And I know, and I'm happy that the narrative is gradually changing. That children is not about the way a child look. There's more to the way a child looks than, there's more to a child than just his look. There's more to raising a child than just his physical appearance, his shoes, his beautiful hairs, and all of that. There's more to it. There's more to raising a child to all of that. So, and then to even make matters worse, then we used to have this neighbor, this family in our neighbor, or couple in our neighborhood. Anytime we see them, like one of their children, like you can't see them and just take your eyes off them. We always admire them. We're always just, they used to be our dream children then, because of the way they look, the way their parents would dress them, looking so beautiful you know, yeah, appealing, always good looking. So it used to be our dream then. And like I said, beauty is not all there is. Physical look is not all there is to raising a child, So, so today, um, and then, while all of this, like I said, the narrative is gradually changing. People are beginning to know better. People are beginning to be intentional. And while all of this is going on, people are beginning to, oh, what's going on? What's some people are beginning to hear intentional parenting, school of parenting with Dumibi. People are beginning to hear positive parenting. They are beginning to hear, all sort of things about parenting, conscious parenting, parenting with calm, parenting with peace, day of calm, all of those things that begin the visionary parenting and so many more things. And they are wondering, what does it mean? Intentional parenting, school of parenting with maybe, do I need to go to school to go and learn parenting again? What does that mean? It baffles a lot of people. And even just recently, I was in a shop, I got into a conversation with a parent, and we're just talking, and he asked me, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm into parenting." Or no, I said, "I'm a parenting expert." And the next thing he said, "What does that mean?" I said, "Oh, helping parents, teaching parents how to raise a better children, or how to raise their children in a better way." I'm like, "Oh, so do people really?" And then the next thing he said was, "So does people really need to learn parenting to raise their children?" I'm like, "Oh, yes." And the next question he asked, it was so funny that day. The next question he asked, "Do they really pay you?" And I said, "Oh, yes, they do." And I'm like, "Oh, wow." And for me, I can't blame him because he didn't know and he does not know. He was just being ignorant that, yes, you need to learn parenting. And the thing is, what you don't know, you just don't know. So that is it. I didn't blame him. I didn't see it as weird or anything because what you don't know, like I said, you don't know. And gradually start making sense. People are beginning to, okay, this parenting of 18, this intentional parenting, the everyday this lady's school of parenting, she's coming live. What is she always talking about? What is she really saying? People are beginning to, okay, let me see. They are beginning to show some level of interest. Is it really real? Is it true? And that leads me to my first test, which is the test of courage. The test of courage. We'll be looking at parenting tests. And the first test is the test of courage. And when I say courage, what does that mean? Now, like I said, you have started seeing the need to parent differently. You're beginning to be aware that there's a way to raise a child and there's a way a child to go. You're beginning to be aware that beauty is not all there is to raising a child. You're beginning to see, okay, I want to do things differently. You know, you're beginning to desire it. You're beginning to somehow, even when you're beginning to see all of these things, but somehow in your mind, you're still doubting, should I not? How do I go about it? There's still this doubt of what do I do? Should I? And then you start asking yourself, do I really need to pay to parent my children? Also, you start asking, do I really need to pay for courses? Will I have time to even if I pay, will I have time to do the training? Will I have time to even spend with my children, especially with this, demanding jobs, careers, and all of that? And just like Gideon in the Bible, because that's where our references will be taken from today. Just like Gideon in the Bible, in the book of Judges, chapter 6, you all know the story. I hope you can see him. What you don't know, you don't know. Okay, thank you. Yeah, what you don't know, you don't know. Physical look is not all there is. Absolutely. Yes. So Judges chapter 6, that is where we'll be taking our reference from. Yeah. So it's about Gideon. I know most of you are familiar with the story, how the after God have delivered them from the children of from the hands of the Egyptians, and so now they were saved, they were delivered, but before because they sinned against God again, so they started suffering. The Midianites was frustrating them, or punishing them, or oppressing them, and all that. And you know how, and then Gideon was asking, if truly God is God, why will He allow all of these things to befall us? And that was when God said, it is you that I'm going to use to deliver. And then they prayed, yes, the children of Israel, they prayed and asked God for mercy, and that was when God said, yes, it is him, Gideon, that God will use to deliver the children of Israel from the hands of the Midianites. And he didn't believe it when God said this in the first place. He doubted, like I said, there will always be doubts. And the truth is, all of these doubts, should I not? How do I do it? It is normal. It is absolutely normal for you. He was doubting in his heart, he was doubting himself. He didn't believe that he could do it. He was asking God, how am I going to be able to do it? I'm the least in my family. My children, my family, they are not significant family. They are not known. They are not known. They are not well known. How am I going to do it? And then God still said, don't worry, it's not about you. It's about me giving you the ability to do it. And then he still did not believe. And for him to believe, to be sure, doubting Thomas, he said, God, give me sign. I want to confirm that truly you're sending me. And then God gave him series of signs, tests, until he was, yes, yes, he confirmed that truly God wants him to do it. So like I was saying, all of these doubts is all of these doubts will come, all of these fears, all of these worries, all of these things are normal. But then you need that courage. You need the test of courage. Your first test is the test of courage. You need that courage to say, come what's me, no matter what happened, I will parent intentionally. No matter what people say, I will parent intentionally. I will have time for my children. I will learn to parent my children. I need that courage. You need that boldness to do things differently. To not just be among crowd, chasing crowd. You need courage to stand out, to say yes, I want my children to be different. I want to see my children 20 years down the line, 50 years down the line, to say, yes, I have done well for myself. I have raised my children in the way they should go. That is it. And also, this doubt, sometimes it comes as a result of the people surrounding you. The people surrounding you have a way. And it reminded me of when I was beginning to start my intentional parenting. And yes, so there was this mentor I wanted to follow. So I spoke to a very close friend, and I said, oh, see this lady, I love it, I love what she does, or what she do. What does she do? I love the things she do, and I would like to. And, and she was like, oh, so you don't know her? I said, no, I don't know her, I'm just seeing her, my husband just introduced her to me. Well, I forget all of those things you see on social media. Do you know people buy award? She just said some things that were not very nice. And just because of those things, it made me withdraw. I kind of withdrew. Instead of following her, I just paused. I didn't follow her. Like, I just started, all of those things, it just started ringing in my head. I was just like, oh, that means she's not real and all of that. Without even me realizing that it was not true. And even if who says it was not real, you know, so it went on until after a while, I had to take that courage to say, mm-mm, no matter what, I already had in mind. Remember, I was already contemplating, I already had in mind to parent differently until I took that courage, just like Gideon. He made up after God confirmed with those tests that yes, is the one. After he just took that bold step to say yes, I will do it. So I took that bold step. I followed her. I started learning, buying courses, doing trainings, learning about parenting, and so many things I started doing. And the truth is, like I said, all of these things, they are absolutely normal. Again, until I took the courage to say, whether her posts were fake or not, whether she was buying awards or not, it doesn't matter. I will follow, I will learn, I will do things differently. I'll be intentional in raising my children. And that was how the journey began. That was me taking the bold step. That was me passing my first test, of intentional parenting. And that test is the test of courage. You need courage to say, because the truth is, people will like people will call you names. People will call you name. They will feel you're doing too much. They think, what is she doing? She's doing no, no. All of those things. They'll raise eyebrow for you. You have this side gossip and all of that. Why? Because you decide, because you took that bold step to say, I want to do things differently. You took that bold step. You took that courage to say, I want to, I want to be different from. I want to raise my children differently. I want to do things different from the way other people are doing it. I want to raise my children different from the way I was raised as a child, you know. And even when I started being intentional, so many thoughts, so many thoughts, I was doing no, like I said, eye service. Some even made jest, the facts, in fact, you did. My brother, I remember one of my brothers, he still called me, there's a name, what's that name again? He calls me expected behavior. Why does he call me expected behavior? There was a day he wanted to do photo shoots. And I said, don't do this photo shoot when the children are home. He said, no, he wants to do that. It doesn't matter. They will not do so. I said, remember children. He said, forget that, he will manage it. That was how he did the photo shoot, or he came for the photo shoots. Lo and behold, the children messed everything up. They were jumping around. They did not let him do the photo shoot. And he was so frustrated. He was getting angry. And I said, so he was beginning to, that agitation and irritating, he was beginning to get irritated. And I said, you need to leave them, because this behavior is an expected behavior. And then he busted into life, like, what does that mean? So I had to explain, these are normal behavior for this age. Is expected for children. These are toddlers. So they can't just, if you even take this photo shoot and they just sit down calmly and be watching you, that means something is wrong with them. If they don't jump around you, if they don't say, let me see, uncle, what are you doing, and all that, that means something is wrong somewhere. So this behavior they are exhibiting is actually an expected behavior. And since that day, he started calling me expected behavior. Expected behavior. Anything you say, oh, what did you say again? Expected behavior. So those are the things that will come your way as an intentional parent. Once you make up your mind to say, once you take that bold step to say, I want to do things differently, people will call you names, a lot of names and all that. But that should not scare you, that should not worry you, because you know where you're going. You must pass that test to be an intentional parent. Remember, it's about the future, it's not about now. So you're on a mission. So you need that courage to just stay focused, irrespective of what people say. Now let's see. It takes courage to be different and to raise your children the right way. It takes courage to know that these numbers of children God has given to you, or God has given to me, I have what it takes to parent them. God didn't make mistake when he gave them to me. He knows I can do it. He knows I have what it takes to raise them, and he knows I can do it. I have the capacity because he has given them to me. It takes courage to know that this is a task God has assigned to you, and he will equip you, with confidence to train your child, just the same way he equipped who Gideon in the Bible, to deliver the children of Israel from the hands of the Midianites. All he's asking you and I, as an intentional parent, is, are we ready? Are we ready to take that bold step? Are you ready? And he's saying to you, have I not commanded you? Be strong and be courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. He will be with you in your intentional parenting journey, because the truth is, nobody says it's going to be easy. Nobody says it's going to be bread and butter. No, it will be difficult. Intentional parenting is difficult. It is very challenging. But God is assuring you that he will be with you. He said, do not be afraid. Take that bold step. Be courageous. Be strong. Do not fear. I'm with you. I'm going to help you. And that's in Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Now, do you know why God is giving you this assurance? Do you know? Do you know why He's giving you and I this assurance? It's because many factors can stand as a hindrance in us taking that bold step to becoming an intentional parent. And one of it, now let's see those factors that can stand as a hindrance. One is personal ambition and career demands. Personal ambitions and career demands. You see, some of us, our careers can be so demanding and it can be so challenging, that have to sometimes you see some parents they are working like literally, especially here in UK, some are doing 8 to 8, 7 days a week and all that. Some, their career had to take them away from home for days, for weeks, and all that. But the truth is, your career can make you struggle physically, it can make you struggle emotionally, and can lead you to feeling guilt, exhaustion, and difficulty balancing your work and your parenting. So another challenge is, or another factor is financial struggle. I hope you can see here. You're very, oh, thank you. Learning to do things differently. Okay. Financial struggle. We all know the cost of living has gone high all over the world. It's not about Nigeria. It's not about UK. It's not about US. It's just all over. It's a universal thing. But the truth is, the bills, these worries can hinder you from becoming an intentional parent. And another factor is that can hinder you is lack of support, lack of a support system. When you are the only intentional parent in the midst of non-intentional parents, they can frustrate you, or their words, or they can make you feel, this thing I'm doing, does it worth it? And especially when you're just starting. Remember, we said parenting is hard work. And when you're just starting to be intentional, you're trying to make change, restructure your home and all that, it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very difficult. So at that point that you're finding it difficult, and you remember you're not strong yet, you're still trying to drag your feet and all that. So surrounding yourself with like people that have not really made up your mind, people that used to be your friends that are not sharing the same values with you, it can be a hindrance to you not becoming that intentional. It can even make you to stop saying, to even give up, like, oh, I'm not doing again. And another is, and okay, so intentional, okay, like I said, okay, to give up, especially at the beginning when you are okay, I've explained that one. So the thing is, the Bible says, be not deceived. Evil communication corrupts good manners, and that is in First Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. And the fourth one is parenting from fear and control. Intentional parenting, as an intentional parenting, in parents, you're talking about, okay, this intentional parenting you're talking about is going to work. And one, okay, let's see, it's a parenting from fear and control. Like, all of those worries. What if I make mistake? What if I fail in my parenting journey? And will everybody, I know I'm not perfect being, but I don't want everybody to start seeing me as Miss Perfect or Mr. Perfect and all of that. So the thing is, all of these fears can make you to give up. And the next one is parenting when you are emotionally dysregulated. When you keep raising your voice at your kids, you keep nagging, whining, getting irritated over every of their behaviors, whether it is expected or unexpected, intentional or non-intentional. You know, when you keep doing this, and when you keep doing all of this, it's simply because you are not able to regulate your emotion. You're not able to put your emotions into control. And when you keep doing it, it can easily make you give up as well. And also the sixth is cultural and societal pressure. We also have lack of knowledge and awareness, and we have stress, overwhelming, and so many more, factors that can stop one from becoming an intentional parent. Now let's see how how to overcome these barriers, these factors, these challenges. First is education and growth. I hope you can still hear me. If you're hearing me, what have you learned so far? Please put it in the comment section. And if you're joining me for the first time, or you're just joining me, please, like this video, and please as well help me share it so others can see it, and invite your friends and loved ones. So now let's see how to overcome these barriers or these challenges. One is education and growth. You can't be an intentional parent without learning. It is not possible. You need knowledge to be able to parent intentionally. You learn through books, through courses, through live sessions like this. So it takes intentional parents. It takes a heart to learn, to be here, to do this live session with me. So another is self-awareness and healing. Recognizing personal struggles and actively working on healing past traumas. And another is seeking support. That is joining parenting groups, joining communities that share the same values with you or as you, building strong support system. Because remember, the Bible says iron sharpeneth iron in Proverbs 27, verse 17. He that walks with the wise shall be wise. He that walks with the wise shall be wise, but in the counsel of fool, shall be what? According to but shall be wise, but a company of fools shall be what? It shall be destroyed. A company of fools shall be destroyed. It didn't say they shall be company. The Bible didn't say a company of fools shall be foolish. No, it didn't say that. It said in the company of fool you will be what? Destroyed. And you know what that means. And that's in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. And the fourth is prioritizing your emotional connection. That is making time for deep conversations, playing and bonding, and having bonding moments with your kids. And the fifth one way to overcome these barriers or these challenges we talked about is practicing self-care. Looking after yourself, like I always say, it is not selfish. It is not selfish at all. Putting yourself, prioritizing your well-being, it's very important. And managing stress, mental health, and emotional well-being is to be more present parents. I already passed, like I already passed the first test of courage. I have already intentionally changed my circle of friends. I'm buying books upon books, paying for trainings. I've been hungry to learn, to learn parenting. I've been desiring to learn parenting. Every day I'm learning. I'm not just learning, but I'm implementing what I'm learning. I'm doing the work, I'm putting in the work. I was, and gradually I started seeing results. I was just seeing results. It was beginning to show in my children, people. It started becoming, it became visible. Result does not lie. It take a little while, but then I got to that point where I started seeing results, learning to do things differently. Okay, thank you. I started seeing results and it became very visible and live. And it was not just visible for me, it was also visible in my children's life. People started asking me, what are you doing differently? What are you doing differently? How are you able to get your children to watch TV an hour a week, without them crying? What do you engage them with? These were so many questions. How are you able to engage them? What do you do? What are those things? How are you able to get your children to talk so fast, and so fluently at their age? How people start asking me series of questions, and they were eager to learn, and they were really eager to know as well. To learn, they want to do things differently. So even me, when I started seeing all of these results, what do you think happened? I was happy. I was proud of myself. I felt good because I was putting in the work and I was seeing results. Now, that feelings. Okay. So the more I kept putting in the work, the more I was seeing the results until sometime last year. Yes, you won't believe what happened to me. And this will lead me to my second test, which is the test of continuity. The first test we said was a test of courage, and the second test is a test of continuity. As an intentional parent, you see this test of continuity. It is I hope you're still here with me. It is the hardest of all. Once you're able to, if you can pass this second test of continuity, forget it. your parenting will be very effective, and you'll see yourself, your children 5 years, 20 years in future, and you'll be very proud of yourself that you have done great. It is the biggest test. It is it is a big test to see results and still have ability to keep putting in the work day in, day out. This is the test many parents, they fail. A lot of parents fail this test, especially when they start. I think it's just, should I say it's natural thing, or it's just normal thing to just, you're doing something, and once you start seeing results, you just tend to relax. You just tend to relax a bit. At least, it don't they show, let me just relax a bit and all that. That was my case, you know. That was honestly my case. I was about failing this second test, this test of continuity. I was about failing it. And as soon as I was about failing it when I started seeing results. And instead of me to continue day in, day out, started reducing the amount of time I was spending with my children. I started leaving them to do their learning. This was me before, when they come back from school. I'll spend time with them. When they're watching TV, I will sit with them, even if I'm not literally sitting till they finish it. But from time to time, I'll come, pause the TV, ask them what did they learn, or after the learning, we'll talk about the TV, whatever they've watched. Sometimes, I stopped singing for them. I just literally stopped doing all of those beautiful things I used to do with them, because I didn't have because I felt I was already seeing results. Instead of focusing more on my career, on my YouTube. My my YouTube was frustrating me then, and this was sometime last year. I was getting frustrated with the YouTube. I was constantly on my phone. I'll upload video checking for a video that I would have uploaded for like 1 week, checking to see how many have watched it. And to my widest surprise, I'll see maybe like 2 people or 8 people, or nobody watched it at all. Before, the more I was watching, the more I was conscious of checking my phone and then not spending time with them, the more I was getting frustrated, because I was putting in the work. Imagine what it takes to create a YouTube video 3 times a week and all that. I was constantly checking for content to write, and all of that, trying to, if I see one person that reply my message like this, says as if heaven have come down. I'm quickly responding and replying, when I was supposed to be spending time with my children, when I was supposed to be balancing it, finding a way to balance it. You know, I was actually feeling, to be honest, in this second test, it was more of, like I said, my YouTube. My YouTube was just literally taking everything about me. It was just taking over me unconsciously. I was just checking my phone. I'm on YouTube, I'm on WhatsApp, I'm on Instagram. I was just everywhere, everywhere. I was getting frustrated. I was exhausted. I was getting tired. And guys, guess what? I gradually started seeing decrease in my parenting. I started seeing decrease in my parenting. You see, the thing is, our children are like a seed. You plant them, if you don't water it, they will not grow. Just like we plant farm, corn, maize, all of those things, cassava, everything. If you don't water those things, if you don't take the weeds away when the weeds come up, if you don't clear them, they will not grow, they will not nourish. So that was what was happening to my parenting. And like I always say, it is not only failure that kills success. It is not only failure that kills, success even kills more than failure. Success kills more than failure. I was still learning, but it was more of, I was learning for my YouTube. I was still being intentional, but it was more for my YouTube. It was more for my content. It was more for my career. It wasn't about my children anymore, you know. And many parents, I believe, they stop putting in the work, their passion for growth, their learning at this stage. It starts gradually, it start dying down. That zeal, I want to be intentional, that zeal of, putting in the work, spending time with their children, building relationship, assisting them with their learning, helping them build their social, emotional, every aspect of their life, everything gradually, it just gradually, it start dying down. And see, as an intentional parent, you are on a mission to raise a child that thrives holistically. I said it earlier, holistically, just like Gideon. You see, after he passed the first test of courage, what happened? God assigned, he had so many armies that will go to war with him to fight the Midianites, isn't it? And God saw that these armies, 32,000 armies, they were just too much. So God said, okay, for us to test that we need to reduce these numbers of army. They are just too much. And for us to know the real people that are able to really go to fight the battle, we need to test them. And what happened? So I think, yeah, so they went to so what happened? God now instructed what's his name? Gideon to tell the soldiers, if you're ready, if you're sure you want to go for this war, stay. If you don't want to, go back home. Remember, they were 32 in numbers. Guess what? Majority of them went back home. Majority of them went back home. Why? Because they were afraid, they were trembling, and all of them they just returned back home. Yes, it was 22,000 of them were the one that left. 22,000, and then it was left with 10,000, 10,000 armies. You know what that means? And God still saw the 10,000 armies, and He said, these 10,000 armies, they are still too much. We want people that can stand without fear and trembling. We want people that can actually fight this battle. So we need to test them. We want to see if they can, when they get to, if they can stand this second test, this test of continuity. So what did God do? He said, God said, they're still okay. Yes. So take them to the riverside. Sorry, take them to the water. And when they get to water, just watch them. Those of them that will kneel on their knee, they'll put their knees down and just drink water, relax and just drink water. Those ones, they're not ready. They can't stand it. But the ones that will just lap the water like, just like dog just those are the ones that can stand this test. Those are the ones that are ready. Those are because just like dogs are always on a mission. Dog does just not, even if you give a dog food, the dog will just eat quickly, sharp, sharp, and just sleep because he knows he's already dogs are always on the move. So the ones that are already on the move, that are not just relaxing, they are the one that can pass this test of continuity. But you see those ones that are we have water, free water. After all, we've been thirsty for a while now. Oh, let me drink water. And then as they are drinking water, they just forgot that they're on a mission. God said, no, those ones, send them back. And that was how God tested them. And out of 10,000 that was left, they were drastically reduced to how many? Just 300 soldiers. Just 300. And the same thing is likable to is likable to liking to our parenting. Are you ready? Just like I said, I was seeing result already. I was seeing the result. I was seeing the signs. People were already telling me you're doing a great job. I was receiving text messages upon text message. What are you doing? How are you doing it? Can you teach us what you're doing with your children and all of that? But gradually, unconsciously, because I was my career, I was focusing more on my career. I stopped putting in the work. This was me failing the test of continuity. This was me failing the test of continuing to be an intentional parent. I stopped putting in the work. For my daughter, especially, I felt she could read. After she could read, she's 5 years old. She can read. She can do her assignment. I don't need to sit with her while she's doing her assignment. I'll just leave. Oh, my, go and do your homework. Okay, mommy, she'll do it before you. Oh, mommy, I'll finish this one. Okay, go and do your math. Oh, I'll finish it. Okay, go and. I was not checking anymore. I was not even sitting with them. And even if I was sitting, I was not checking. I was just on my phone, like I said, checking for the video that was uploaded 20 years of 3 days without any views. That was what I was focusing on. I was literally checking for, oh, what content to write, what content not to write. It was that my career became my priority unconsciously to me. I was gradually I was gradually failing that test of what continuity without me realizing, until one day I don't know, somehow something just say, pick up your daughter's book and even go through. Let me see what she's. And I realized that, oh my God, she did well in some, but some, especially the math, there was one concept she missed. And because she missed that, she now missed a lot of things. Meaning, if I had sat down with her to check it as she was doing it per page, I would have easily identified it, corrected it, and then teach her the right way, and then she will carry on. So, meaning it was already affecting. but their parenting. I was not spending time with them, like all of those beautiful things I used to do with them. I wasn't doing it again. So my intentionality, my work with them was, and then it was telling on them as well. It was telling on them. You can tell. You can't give what you don't have, even if it was not obvious. But it was just like ice block. When you get a block or ice block from the fridge, it's not going to melt or dissolve immediately. It would take a while. It would take a while, gradual, but eventually it will melt. That was what was beginning to happen to me. That was beginning to happen to me. The test of continuity, the test of, what if you're still following me, if you're still hearing me, what did we say is the first test, and what did we say is the second test? Which one resonates with you the most? The test of courage and the test of continuity, you know. And this test of continuity, let's see. Okay. For some parents, passing this test of courage can result in pride. It can result in pride of not, sorry, this test of continuity, it can result in pride. It can result in pride of not learning, not reading, or not wanting to put in the work again like it used to be. That zeal will not be there again. Maybe something your career, like those factors that we talk about that could stand as a hindrance, they start coming. Life can change, anything can happen. So maybe all of those things, one or two, just come in the way. So you're no longer, just that zeal is not there, that energy is not there. You're just winging it. For me, like I said, mine, it wasn't about pride. It was just about me not putting in the work anymore. I wasn't focusing on them anymore. I wasn't doing all of those things that, I just forgot that the higher, and then I forgot that the higher my results, the more I was supposed to put in the work. Did you get that? Remember, I was already seeing the results. So instead of me to put in more work at that point, I just started withdrawing. She can read, they can do their homework, they know what to do. They're watching TV, they know when it's an hour, they turn it off, set an alarm for them, they just turn it off. I wasn't there to really monitor it again. That was what was happening. When I was supposed to put in, if I was putting on 5% before, I was supposed to put in like times five, times, more, more, especially when I started seeing results. And I had carried on, falling, failure, it was gradually beginning to be like, failure for me. I had to intentionally create a system that will work for us. And how did I do it? I had to sit them down, say, Mommy, we're changing our approach. I even apologize, telling them that I know my YouTube have been frustrating me a while, for a while now, but we need to be intentional. We need to go back to the way we used to do things. So what did I do? One of the system I created was, once they're back from school in the afternoon, I take my phone off their learning room. Like, it's either my phone is upstairs or is in the lounge. Just for me, I just take it off site until till 6 o'clock when we are done with our learning. And then afterwards, I just quickly grab it again, check one or two things again, or reply messages or something for like 10 minutes, and then we'll go prepare dinner. So I had to intentionally imagine if I didn't intentionally do that. Imagine if I did not intentionally say, okay, today I have time to do my career. I am not saying you should put your career on hold. No, as an intentional parent, you don't need to put your career on hold. You still have a life apart from parenting. So what the point is knowing how to balance it, creating a system in such a way that your career is not lacking and then your parenting is not lacking. So what I started doing was, when they are home, I have time to spend with them. When it's time for me to spend, when it's time for me to spend quality time with them, I know that it's quality time. And then I take my phone away because it was my major distraction then. I just take it away, take it off site. And I tell my children, if you see mommy with phone, mommy should face consequence. And they used to give me, I know I face one consequence from there. Imagine my children. I face some consequence. But over time now it has helped. It has helped, and we are back on track to the glory of God. Hallelujah. So that is it. Um, so yes, we are beginning to round up now. So doing this was me being intentional. doing this was me being intentional. Doing this was me passing my second test. Otherwise, I was already failing it. I would have failed woefully, you know. So I will encourage as parents, for you to be disciplined, to discipline yourself for this test of continuity, especially when everyone is already telling you you're doing well, especially when you start receiving all of those praises, when people come to your house, they are wowing, they are wondering or imagining how you're doing all of these things. Your kids are so behaved, well mannered, you know. But at that point, still discipline yourself to still carry on. That is not the time to give up. That is not the time to relent in the work you're doing. So even when you're sharing your knowledge with other parents and the thing about the second test is you will be failing. There's something dangerous about the second test. You'll be failing and it will not be obvious. Just like ice block, I said it. When you bring it out, it's not going to melt immediately. That's one thing about this test, passing the second test. It will not melt. It will take a while and gradually, without you knowing, you know, there will be lapses. You're just seeing that things are not working again. The things, all of those results that you used to see before, you're not seeing it again. And that is not what we want. And at the end of the day, in five, and if you're not intentional or if you don't do something drastic about it, before you know your children are 18. And once they are 18, there's literally nothing you can do, and we don't want to get to that point. That is why we must pass this test of courage. The first test is a test of courage, taking that bold step to say, I want to do things differently. And the second test is the test of continuity. You know, the good thing about the second test is you will learn and sorry, the more you learn, the more you spend okay is the more you spend quality time with your children and the more you build their characters, and the more you teach them values, on daily basis, and the more you do all of these things, the more you have wisdom to face and overcome every challenges that will come your way. Because the truth is, intentional parenting requires there's challenges is bound to occur. There will be challenges. Nobody says there will not be challenges. There will be challenges, and that's why we say parenting is hard work. It is hard indeed, but the more you become intentional, the more you have wisdom to overcome all of these things, and the more you'll be knowledgeable to know what to do part time. And also you have this discerning spirit when things you'll be able to discern when things are not right, when things are not going on well. You quickly discern and as to know what to do or how to raise your children well until they become of age, until they become 18 years of age. So I would say I'm rounding up now. To pass this test, I will encourage you to pray like never before. Like I said, this second test, once you get there, that is not the time to start relenting. Remember, if you are putting in 50% of the work, that is the time for you to increase it, increase it to 60, increase it to 70. Start praying. If you don't pray before, read like never before, go for training, join live sessions like this, do things, train, read, put in the work like never before. So, in conclusion, I would say to pass these two tests as an intentional parent, never think that you have arrived. To pass these tests, never think that you have arrived. When it comes to intentionally raising your children in the way they should go, never think that your yesterday's knowledge will solve your tomorrow's parenting challenges. You need to learn to fresh daily for fresh inspiration. You need to learn daily for fresh wisdom. You need to learn daily for fresh knowledge. And I pray that God Almighty will give us the grace to pass these two tests of courage and continuity. Thank you so much. I hope somebody have learned something today. The test of courage and continuity. If you're still here and if you're still with me, what have you learned? What did you learn? What are the two tests we talked about? Can I see it in the comment section? The test of courage and the test of continuity. The test of courage and the test of continuity. Both of tests are sine qua non. Both of them are important. None is more important than the other. You need a test of courage to even start in the first place, and you need a test of continuity to carry on as an intentional parent, to see your children in future and say, yes, I have done well. I have raised them in the way they should go. Because the truth is, there's a way to raise a child. There's a blueprint to raising a child. And you need these two tests to be able to get to that stage, to get to that point of raising your child, not just raising them academically, no, raising them holistically, raising them in every area of their life. You see them their academic aspects, they are there, their physical aspects, they are there, their emotional aspects, they are there, psychological aspects, they are there, social aspects, they are there. They are just on point, they are just balanced in every area of their life. And that is what we want, and that is what we pray, we wish. And I pray that God Almighty will help us to pass this test so that when we see our children in years to come, we'll be able to say, yes, to God be the glory. I have done, because the truth is an assignment. Like I said, you have what it takes. God did not make mistake when He gave you those children. You have what it takes to raise them. So, and it's a task that has been assigned to you. So I pray that God will help us not to fail in this task of intentional parenting. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for doing this live with me. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. For those of you that will catch replay, thank you so much. And yeah, let's do this again next week. Thank you and bye for now. Children are like cars. Thank you. So children are like cars. If they aren't serviced, they won't get them. They would get damaged. Yes. Amen. He said learning to do things differently isn't good enough. Where better is absolutely. I used to admire parents who dress their children so well in church back then. Yeah, that's it's not only you, it's all of us. What you don't know, you don't know. Absolutely. You don't know it, you don't know it. The test of courage. Physical looks is not like all there is to a child's beauty. Absolutely. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Chichi. Thank you. I have learned to be courageous and also continue. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's do this again next week. Bye everyone.